Mangalacharan. अखिल रसामृतमूर्ति प्रसमर रुचिरुद्धतारकापालि कलितश्यामा ललितो राधा प्रेयान् विधुर्जयति. Welcome to today's class. So we are discussing the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. We completed 4 verses, beginning with the 5th verse. So let us begin. मीमांसक वडवाग्ने कठिनामपि कुण्ठयनसो जिह्वाम् स्फुरतु सनातन सुचिरं तव भक्तिरसामृताम्भोधि. So Rupa Goswami is praying to Sanatana, his guru, elder brother Sanatana Goswami, or it can refer to Krishna, who is the eternal one. Your Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, ocean, may it always be manifest. May it always be present. And how should it be present? It should be gloriously present while silencing the objections of the Mimamsakas. Or you can say, Mimamsaka Vadavagni. So Vadavagni is a fire, sub-ocean, submarine fire. A fire, volcanic eruption basically that happens under the ocean. That is called Vadavagni, underwater volcano. So when the volcano erupts under the ocean, in the ocean, it cannot create any destruction, any damage, because the ocean is so huge, it has such great amounts of water that it immediately extinguishes or restricts that volcano from causing any significant damage. So the Mimamsakas, both Karma Mimamsakas and Jnana Mimamsakas, says Jiva Goswami in the commentary, they are likened to the volcanic eruption under the ocean. Okay. So may this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, this ocean of Bhakti Rasa, may it subdue this Mimamsaka volcano and be effulgently present in that way. Okay. So Kathinam api kunthayan asau jihva. So the tongue of the Mimamsaka is said to be very kathina, very hard tongue. But still, even if that tongue is very hard, this ocean curbs that. So tongue actually also is applicable to fire. So fire is well known to have 7 tongues, 7 flames. So the flame of the fire is compared to the tongue. Is said to be a tongue. So because the fire in the yajna consumes everything, whatever ahuti is offered, it eats it, it consumes it, it is eating, it is havir bhuk, it is said, it is consuming havish, the ghee which is offered in the sacrifice. So the fire is the mouth and the flames are the tongue. Okay. So because the fire has tongues, and the Mimamsaka is also, this volcano is also said to have tongues because it is erupting and also it is fire, it is also a person, a Mimamsaka, who is speaking with his tongue. So may this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu restrain their objections. Okay.
Actually, when you, the comparison to the tongue is very apt. Because if you look at the 7 classic tastes in Ayurveda, they talk about Madhura, Amla, Lavana, Katu, Tikka, Kashaya, and Umami.
6 tastes.
The traditional Ayurvedic tastes are 6, but modern Ayurveda considers umami or savory as a 7th taste.
I see.
Because the 7th taste actually provide satiety. It satisfies the Jataragni in the stomach. It gives you the sense of fullness of the stomach.
Okay.
After you taste food.
Yeah. So 7 tastes. But here it is speaking about the fire. The fire.
The fire is compared to the tongue.
Yes, tongue.
right? And the tongue has
Tongue
those
is 7
seven
days.
tastes.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah, and I can't find the sloka. I don't have my Shishruta Samhita books with me. They are
Uh-huh.
all in California. Once I go back, I can find the appropriate
Sure,
sloka
sure.
and share it
Yeah.
if I remember.
No problem. Yeah.
Right. Oh, sure. Yeah. So it compares to the 7 days.
Yeah. So, commentary by Srila Jiva Goswami, Durgama Sangamani Tika. अथ निजग्रन्थस्य विरोधीकृत पराभवाभव पराभवाभावकरीं सदा स्फूर्तिं श्रीगुरुचरणान् प्रार्थयते मीमांसकृते. So in this verse, Sri Rupa Goswami prays to his guru Sanatana Goswami. He is praying to him to for the ever manifest for his book Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu to be always manifest, and in that way it would uh, prohibit the opposing people, and it would prohibit the arguments of the people who oppose the idea of Bhakti Rasa. Okay. So निज ग्रंथस्य विरोधीकृत पराभव अभाव करीं स्फूर्ति. The manifestation of this book would ensure the absence of the arguments offered by the opposing party, that is the Mimamsakas. Okay, that's what he says. Mimamsaka Dvivida. Two kinds of Mimamsaka are there: Karma Mimamsaka and Jnana Mimamsaka. Karma Jnana Vichara Bhedena. So, Badabagnir Jihva Jvala Tad Bhedena Eva Agni Sapta Jihvatvena Prasiddhi. The tongue of the volcanic fire within the ocean is actually the flame of that fire. So the tongue of that fire should be subdued. It means the flame of that fire should be subdued, because the fire's flame, the fire is well known to have 7 flames or 7 tongues. Tam yatha kunthayan ambodhir vartate. Just as the ocean is present while subduing that underwater volcano, in the same way, may this text also, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it may this also be always present while subduing the Vachana Shakti, the ability to speak of these Mimamsakas, which is like their tongue. Okay, which is their tongue. Tat kunthanaatishaya vivakshayameva tatparyat ubhayatrapi tadiya rasasvabhavyat iti bhava. Okay. The purpose of writing this book, Jiva Goswami says that, is to completely curtail the arguments of the opposing philosophers, Karma Mimamsakas and Jnana Mimamsakas. He wants to totally uproot their opinions. That is the purpose. So, Ubhayatrapi Tadiya Rasa Swabhavyaditi. Also, in both cases, in the water ocean and the fire volcano underneath the ocean, and the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, this text, and the arguments of the Mimamsakas. In both these cases, the curbing of the underground volcano and the curbing of the Mimamsakas is done by the nature of this text, that is rasa. Water is rasa. Okay, water is rasa, is liquid taste. So by its nature, because water is liquid, because water is water, it extinguishes or curtails the underwater volcano. And because this text Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is rasa, Bhakti rasa, it will curtail the arguments of the Mimamsakas. So, because water is rasa, it extinguishes the volcano, and because our Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is rasa, it will also curtail the Mimamsakas. अथवा अन्यां बोधितः विलक्षणत्वम् अत्र उक्तम्. Or else you can understand that this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is a very special type of an ocean which curtails the speech of the Mimamsakas. Okay. तदेवम् एतत् पदत्रयेषा सिन्धुरूपकत्वं त्रिधापि स्थापितम्. So in this way, the text which we are talking about, its nature of being an ocean, Rupakatvam, its comparison with the ocean. Its comparison with the ocean is established in three ways. As curtailer of this Mimamsaka volcano, and in the previous verse we saw it, the devotees of Krishna, they are free from any fear of time factor, of any fear of dying. That is the nature of the devotees, because they are swimming deep in the ocean. The net of time cannot capture them. That is the second way of establishing the comparison of this text with the ocean. And the third was in the third verse, may this text be your resting place, O Krishna. So Bhagavan Vishnu lies down in the ocean. May this ocean of Bhakti Rasa also be your resting place. So in three verses, he establishes the comparison of this Grantha with the ocean. सिन्धावन्यत्र बडवाग्नेः स्वाभाविकी स्थितिः अत्र तु मीमांसकस्य यथा कथञ्चित् आगन्तुकी स्यात् इत्याशङ्क्य तदेव प्रार्थितम्. So the one difference between the ocean and this text is that this underwater volcano is naturally present in some part of the ocean, but the Mimamsakas, they occasionally arise and may object. Okay, their objection may rise occasionally, so they are not always objecting. They, whenever someone thinks that this is not good, he may object. So, expecting their occasional arguments and opposing accusations, Rupa Goswami prays to Sanatana Goswami, his guru, that may this always be effulgently present in the world. Okay. Any questions? Any doubts someone has? Right?
I don't have a specific question, but I just want to know what is seventh taste that Prabhu mentioned previously.
Srinivasanji, what was the seventh taste?
They call it umami, satisfaction.
Oh, I see.
You have eaten
Okay.
something, you feel satiated.
I see. Yeah, thank you.
Which is you won't find it in the what is that? The 7 volumes, Charaka Samhita, but you find this in the Shushruta Samhita.
I see.
Right, Maharishi Shushruta, when he wrote this on surgery, he mentions the 7th taste.
Okay.
I remember this because of it stuck in my mind, because everybody talks about the 6 tastes of Ayurveda. Nobody talks about the 7th taste, but Maharishi Shushruta talks about it.
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
So we can move to the 6th verse. Vishwanatha Chakravarti essentially repeats Jiva Goswami's comment.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Bharat,
Ashish ji.
yeah. So you mentioned that devotees of Lord Krishna are fearless of time.
Yes.
Right. That's what a statement you made, right?
Yes, yeah. Rupa Goswami says here in the 4th verse.
Yeah. Acharya Rupa Goswami says the devotees of Lord Krishna are fearless of time. But actually
Yes.
speaking, if somebody tells, you know, any one of us that your death is going to come tomorrow,
Ah.
how much fearless we will be, right?
Yeah, that is there. But here, Rupa Goswami is offering its pranams to the devotees who are compared to Makar, the shark-like creatures who swim deep in the ocean. So, in the commentary, Jiva Goswami says that he, in the third verse, offered his pranam to Sanatan Goswami. In the fourth verse, he is offering his pranams to other devotees of Krishna, generally, not specifying individually each and every devotee, grouping them as one. He is offering his pranam to them. So, these are the devotees at the time of Rupa Goswami, whom he knew. He is offering his pranams to them. Right? No, Gadadhar Pandit and Lokanath Goswami and all this.
it, it's very pleasing to the ears to hear that devotees of Lord Krishna are fearless of time and
Yes,
fearless
yes.
of death. But the moment the reality kicks in, you know, it's it's very
It
easy to
means
listen
it
and
means
read and all, but to apply on our own life, it's very
it is very difficult, and
complicated.
it means that we have a long way to go yet.
Long way to go. Long way to go.
Okay.
This topic actually came up this morning when we were talking. Every Wednesday, our Acharya has a conference call where we can all ask him questions. By the way, I'm not a Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya follower. I'm a
Ah,
follower of Ramanuja Siddhanta. Parasti knows about it. So somebody asked a question. He says, we do Bharanyasa. When you do Bharanyasa, we surrender everything to the Lord. And what is it we want? So he talked about what we wanted, and the people, he asked the question, and we all said, after this life is over, after death, what we want is moksha. And he listened to everybody and he said, we want something better than moksha. And what is something better than moksha is we want to be with Krishna forever. That is better than moksha because Krishna takes birth in every yuga, and he takes birth between yugas. He comes to us in the form of our acharyas. He comes to us in the form of great people who Bhagavatam may not recognize. Right? Even the Gaudiya philosophy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is considered an avatara, but Bhagavatam doesn't recognize that. It's not mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. So they come to Bhagavan Krishna comes to us in many forms. We want to be with Krishna. We want to be wherever he is. So he explained that the Yadavas, the gopis, who came to Mathura and Vrindavan and played with baby Krishna, were all devotees of Krishna who go where Krishna is. And he
yeah,
says, in the same way in the Ramayana, he says the hordes of monkeys and bears who fought with Rama were basically followers of Krishna. And Ramayana, actually, in Balaganda, there is a there are two chapters that talk about how these different devas, devatas, and they take birth in a monkey clan so they can be with Rama. That's what we want. So you talk about death, but death of what? Death of the physical body, but the Atma never dies, right? So that's what Bhagavad Gita says. So the next question that we have to ask is, what happens after this body dies? What do we want to do? What does the Jivatma want to do? The Jivatma wants to be with Krishna, is the answer. Sorry, I don't want to preach.
no problem. Thank you. So, sixth verse. Bhakti rasasya prastutir akhila jagan mangala prasangasya ajnyenapi mayasya kriyate suhridam pramodaya. So, in this text, he is presenting the subject matter. What is the subject? Bhakti rasasya prastuti, presenting the bhakti rasa. Rasa, that is bhakti. He is presenting it in this text. What is this bhakti rasa? He is describing it. Akhila jagan mangala prasanga. Bhakti rasa is such that it creates auspiciousness in the entire world. Okay. Although this world is an miserable place, a place of death, but still Bhakti Rasa, if it comes in our life, it shines, it illuminates our whole world. So ajnayenapi maya asya kriyate. Even though I am an ignorant person, still I am engaging in this task of presenting bhakti rasa for the pleasure of the suhrit of the rasika devotees, those who understand it, or for the pleasure of my friends, I am presenting it. Suhridam pramodaya. Or for those who have a very beautiful heart, for them, for their pleasure, I am presenting it. Jiva Goswami says, Mama punah अनुकूलानां प्रतिकूलानां च पंडितानां समाधानेन शक्तिः किन्तु एतदर्थमेव इदं क्रियते इत्याह भक्तिरसस्य इति. So now he clarifies that I actually do not have the capacity to satisfy the learned people, whether they are devotees or non-devotees. I cannot satisfy them. But it is only for this purpose that I am writing this text. That's what he says in this shloka. Purvavat dainye api na vidyate jnah yasmat tena iti jneyam. So although he refers to himself as ajnya, as an ignorant person, out of his humility he does so. But like the previous verse number 2, I think, he presented himself as a very insignificant person. So there Jiva Goswami says that Saraswati would not tolerate such a great devotee speaking lowly of him. So Saraswati would say that he who is the greatest, the great devotee. So ajna, this word can be interpreted as na vidyate yasmat. He who is so knowledgeable that there is no other person more knowledgeable than him. That can also be the meaning of ajna. Okay. So Rupa Goswami is that highly scholarly person, greater than whom there is no other scholar. Okay. So api atra swatah prayojana bhavam vyanjayati. So the word api, it indicates that there is no other purpose of this text. Yeah. Swatah prayojana bhavam. See, automatically it indicates absence of any prayojanam, any purpose. Okay. Vishwanath Chakravarti says, Kintu suhridam pramodharthameva kriyate ityaha bhakti rasasya iti. Akhila jagan mangalasya Shri Krishnasya prasangah yatra vidyate तथा विधस्य भक्तिरसस्य प्रस्तुतिर्मया क्रियते. So Akhila Jagan Mangala, he takes this to be meaning to Krishna, who is the one who makes the entire world auspicious. Krishna, Shri Krishna. So his prasanga, his topics are being discussed in this text. That bhakti rasa, that kind of bhakti rasa is being presented here. Bhakti rasa regarding Krishna. So that is the topic of my presentation. Okay, any questions someone has? Any doubts? Somebody has said in the chat. 11th canto, description about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, it is there. Okay. 7th verse. एतस्य भगवद्भक्ति रसामृत पयोनिधे चत्वारः खलु वक्ष्यन्ते भागाः पूर्वादयः क्रमात्. So this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu text, there are 4 parts of this which will be described. So eastern part, Purva Bhaga, Dakshina Bhaga, Paschima Bhaga, and Uttara Bhaga. Eastern division, Southern division, Western division, and Northern division. This text is divided into 4 parts. And the ocean, according to the directions, it can be divided: Eastern Ocean, Northern Ocean, and whatever. तत्र पूर्वे विभागेऽस्मिन् भक्तिभेदनिरूपके अनुक्रमेण वक्तव्यं लहरीणां चतुष्टयम्. In the first division, which is the Eastern division, it describes the types of bhakti. Okay, types of bhakti will be described, or you can say the stages of bhakti will be described, one after the other, in the form of laharis. So one chapter for one type and so on. So 4 chapters are there in the first part. So one chapter is actually called lahari, a wave, because the ocean has waves. So each of the chapters of the divisions of the ocean of the text are called waves. So first eastern part has 4 waves, 4 chapters. आद्या सामान्य भक्त्याढ्य द्वितीया साधनांकिता भावाश्रिता तृतीया च तुर्या प्रेम निरूपिका. The first wave chapter is filled with the descriptions of samanya bhakti, bhakti in general description of bhakti. Second chapter is about sadhana bhakti, bhakti in the stage of practice. Bhavashrita Tritiya, the third wave, is describing bhava bhakti, or bhakti in the state of feeling divine emotions for Krishna. And Turya Prema Nirupika, the fourth wave, is describing prema for Krishna, love for Bhagavan. Jiva Goswami says, Atha Grantham Arabdhum Tat Paripatim Darshayati. So, in order to begin the Grantha, the text, Rupa Goswami is demonstrating the structure of the text. Etasyati Chaturbhi, in these 4 verses till verse number 10. 10th verse. तत्रादौ सुष्ठु वैशिष्ट्यम् अस्याः कथयितुं स्फुटं लक्षणं क्रियते भक्तेः उत्तमाया सतां मतम्. So at the beginning, in order to describe the speciality of bhakti in a very clear way, the definition of bhakti is being presented. The definition of uttama bhakti, of the highest bhakti, is presented, which is in agreement with the opinion of other devotees, of the great wise people. Jiva Goswami says, Tatra Purva Vibhagagata Prathama Laharyam Ado Prathamatah Eva Uttamaya Bhaktir Lakshanam Kriyate. So, in the first, or in the Eastern division, which is the first division, in the first Lahari, in the first wave chapter, at the beginning of the first chapter now itself, at the beginning itself, the definition of highest bhakti is being presented. Pratipadyatvena vidhiyate. So, the definition of bhakti is being given in order to inform all others that this is what pure bhakti is, or uttama bhakti is. Natu sarvatmikaya tatra hetu sushtu vaishishyam kathayitu. So, Uttamaya bhakti lakshanam kriyate. Only the definition of the highest bhakti or pure bhakti is being given in this at the beginning of the first chapter. All kinds of bhaktis, that kind of bhakti, that kind of definition which would encompass all kinds of bhakti, mixed bhakti, or so there is karma mishra bhakti, bhakti mixed with karma. There is jnana mishra bhakti, bhakti mixed with the path of cultivation of knowledge of oneness with oneself and Brahman. So That is also bhakti, but that is mixed. So that kind of bhakti is not being described. Okay, because his purpose is to show sushtu vaishishtyam, is to demonstrate, is to show the speciality of bhakti. Very clearly, he wants to show the speciality, the uniqueness of bhakti. Okay. So for that, he has to describe the characteristics of pure bhakti, what bhakti actually is. Then bhakti in its subordinate forms, when mixed with other things, it becomes diluted. So pure bhakti is the glorious thing, is the very special thing which he wants to describe. अन्यत्र अन्याभिलाष ज्ञान कर्माद्यावृतत्वेन अपूर्ण बलत्वात् एतदंशतः एव अस्याः तादृशत्वव्यक्तेः यस्यास्ति भक्तिर्भगवत्य किंचन इत्यादिश्च. Because when bhakti is mixed by desires for worldly things or desires for attaining liberation, when bhakti is mixed with or when bhakti is covered by jnana and karma, such bhakti is not does not demonstrate its full power. The full power of bhakti is demonstrated only when bhakti is in its pure condition. That is the highest form of bhakti. Okay. So when bhakti is mixed by something else other than itself, then it is not fully powerful as it would be when it is pure. So, and also in various other shastras, we find that bhakti is described in its pure form in the Srimad Bhagavatam and any other place where bhakti is described. So, 5th skandha, 18th chapter, 12th shloka, it is said, Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana. Akinchana bhakti, bhakti only for bhakti's sake, not for anything else. You are serving Krishna, you are engaging in Krishna's worship only for worshipping Krishna, pleasing Krishna. भगवान की सेवा कर रहा हूं किस लिए? भगवान की सेवा करने के लिए. There is no purpose. Okay, you just want to serve Krishna. It means you want to please Krishna. That's all. That is what bhakti is in its pure form. So and that is how it is described in the Shastras. Okay, Vishwanath Chakravarti comments. लक्षणकरणे हेतुमाह सुष्ठु वैशिष्ट्यं वैलक्षण्यं कथयितुम्. So the reason why Rupa Goswami gives the definition of bhakti is that he wants to describe the speciality of bhakti, and he wants to describe it very clearly in no unclear terms. Anyatra abhilasha अन्यत्र अन्याभिलाष ज्ञान कर्माद्यावृतत्वेन पूर्णबलतः शुद्ध भक्तिर वैलक्षण्यं व्यक्तेः. Then he repeats Jiva Goswami. Okay. Any question someone has, any doubt?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I don't
Yes.
have any questions. So, in the previous paragraph, when you mentioned bhakti, it needs to be done only for bhakti. That means whatever the components of Swarup Siddha Bhakti that a devotee does, that actually is closely aligned, that is pleasing to the God, right? Is that right understanding?
Your motivation, that is what it is talking about. What is your motivation to engage in the acts of bhakti? You are listening to Krishna Katha. Why? What is the purpose? Do you want to attain liberation from this world? Do you want to attain peace of your own mind? Do you want to attain freedom from suffering? Or do you want to attain prosperity and punya and all these things by listening to that? Or do you want to just listen to Krishna Katha? You like it, that's why you do it.
I see.
Yeah.
Got it.
Any other question someone has? Okay. So now comes the all-important shloka. You can say in many ways the central verse of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So the definition of pure bhakti. Anyabhilashita shunyam jnanakarmadhyanavratam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. Uttama bhakti or pure bhakti is that, is what? It is krishnanushilanam. It is constant application with regard to Krishna. Okay, constantly applying oneself with regard to Krishna, anukulyena, in a favorable way. It means to please Krishna. So, constant application of oneself in order to please Krishna, which is, and this application should be devoid of any other desire. Anya abhilashita shunya. Okay. No inclination even to desire something else other than the pleasure of Krishna. And then he says, Jnana karma dhyanavratam, and that serving application in pleasing Krishna should be not covered by the pursuit of knowledge and the pursuit of karma. So it means karma. Karma means Vaidika activities. So your engagement in the acts of bhakti to please Krishna should not be covered by karma and should not be covered by the pursuit of knowing that the jiva is one with Brahman. All these things will be described in great detail in the commentary. So let's see. Okay.
At a high level, this was what I heard this morning.
Uh-huh. Okay. Jiva Goswami's commentary. Atha tasya lakshanam vadan eva grantham arabhate. So, Rupa Goswami begins this grantha by presenting the definition of pure bhakti. Anushilanam atra kriya shabdavat dhatvartha matram uchyate dhatvarthascha dvividha pravritti nivrityatmaka. Anushilanam, this word Krishna Anushilanam is a samas, is a compound word, and the second word is the main word. It is a Tatpurusha samasa. So Anushilanam, Krishna Anushilanam. Anushilanam means, so before presenting the meaning, he is saying that it is Dhatvartha matram. Bhava artha. So bhava is the artha because this lute suffix is applied. So those who know Sanskrit grammar, so this form, Shilanam, is formed when the Shil dhatu. Okay, let me show you this dhatu. Dhatu patha. Okay, so this is the dhatu Shil. It means samadho, to meditate, to focus, all these things. So this Shil dhatu has various forms in various lakaras. But when you apply the krit suffix lut, here you see, it becomes Shilana, Shilanam. And you add anu before it, it becomes Anushilanam. So Shil dhatu, when you supply the lut suffix, it becomes Shilana. Okay. And this lut suffix is used in many different meanings. So here, Jiva Goswami clarifies that the only meaning this suffix is used is bhavartha, dhatva. Action itself. Anushilanam means application, cultivation, following, whatever. Okay? The action itself, it means. Okay? The action. Dhatu arthashtadved. And the meaning of the dhatu is of two kinds. Pravritti, nivritti, atmaka. Pravrityatmaka, nivrityatmaka. To do something and to stop doing something. That is the meaning of the shil dhatu, anushil. So when anu is added to shil, the meaning changes. Let me show you the meaning. Because this Sanskrit dictionary today is not loading. I will show you some other dictionary. Yeah, it's not loading today. So
Sorry, which word, Parasjay, missed the. I'll search. I have it with me.
okay, anushilana. 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 So this is a German dictionary. I will have to paste it here because I do not know German. Practice.
Repeated and devoted service.
Very good. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vajayanti ji. So here in this dictionary, it says practice. So anushilanam, that is the meaning, practice or study. So constant practice in relation to Krishna, which is favorable. Practice. And Vajayanti ji said, repeated devotion, right?
Yeah, repeated and devoted service or constant practice of study.
So repeated
Both are
devoted service is anushilanam. Constant practice of study is also anushilanam. Okay, constantly doing something, one thing. Okay, doing one thing constantly. Practice. What is practice? Doing one thing constantly. You are becoming an expert in that thing. You want to become an expert in that. Anushilanam. That is the meaning. Practice, study. You study. You study means you are reading the same thing again and again and again. That is called study, and thinking about the meaning of that thing. That is study. And applying the meaning in your life. So that is all anushilana. Okay. Constant practice. Application, constant application. So Krishna anushilana. Now practice with regards to Krishna. So any practice means any action. Okay. Constant repeated devotion. Devotion, it means action. So devoted practice means action. So some constant action, some dedicated action, practice in relation with Krishna is Krishna Anushilanam. So that practice, that constant action in relation to Krishna is of two kinds. To do something in relation to Krishna and to stop doing something which is not related to Krishna, which Krishna has asked you not to do, which the Shastras have told you not to do because it is displeasing to Bhagavan, which is against his pleasure. Both are Anushilanam. So you are constantly practicing some activity in order to please Krishna. So that activity can be positively doing something like offering a flower to Krishna, going to his temple, chanting his names. Constantly you are doing that, practicing that. Anukulyena is a key word here. It should be favorably inclined to Krishna. It should be for his pleasure. And also Anushilanam can be avoiding something which is not in relation to Krishna, like avoiding offending Krishna, avoiding offending Krishna's name, avoiding offending Krishna's devotees, avoiding papa, avoiding sinful actions. Constantly you are avoiding that. That is also one action, right? You are constantly doing something, practicing avoiding something. So both kinds of actions, constant practice are there. One should do both. Pravritti and nivritti, constant application in relation to Krishna, which is favorable to him. Okay. So, such action, which is both positive action and stopping negative action, it is of the kind of kaya vang manasiya tattat cheshta rupa and priti vishadatmaka manasa tattat bhava rupashcha. So, practice, constant practice, this action, positive and negative, is having further divisions of three kinds: bodily action, verbal action through speech, and mental cultivation, mental practice, mental constant application. Okay, so constant practice can be done with the body. You can do positive activities and you can avoid negative activities with your body. With your speech, you can do positive actions, speak about positive things, glorify Krishna, that is positive, and don't speak negative of Krishna. Don't speak negative of his devotees. That is verbal, stopping negative things. So pravritti and nivritti through body and through speech, also through the mind. Mind can also be involved. Actually, mind is the main thing that should be involved. Okay, so the mind, application of the mind positively in relation with Krishna, and stopping the mind from going into negative directions which are opposed to Krishna. So, bodily activity, verbal activity, and mental activity, both positive and negative, are possible. Cheshta rupa, these actions are there. Then he discusses some internal or involuntary mental states. Priti vishadatmaka manasa tattad bhava rupashcha. Okay. So, pravritti and nivritti is applied to body, speech, and mind. Positive actions and avoiding negative actions. Now, there is another category he presents, which is Priti Vishadatmaka. Love, Priti means love, affection. Vishada means lamentation, grief, sorrow. Okay, this is a mental feeling on the level of feeling. Now he is talking about. Earlier he was talking about activity, voluntary activity. Voluntary activity can be with the body, with the speech, and with the mind. Now he is talking about feelings. So feelings can be of two forms: love for Krishna, or the feeling of despair or sorrow with regard to Krishna. Okay. So a devotee on the very exalted stage in his practice of bhakti will attain these loving emotions for Krishna, and he will also feel sad when he thinks of a particular situation in Krishna's Leela, where suppose Krishna is leaving Mathura, leaving Vrindavan to go to Mathura, something like that. He may feel sad to read that. Okay. So this is on the level of feelings. It is not at all voluntary. You feel it. Okay. So this is on the level of the feelings. प्रीति विषादात्मकः मानसः तत्तद् भावरूपश्च. So Anushilanam is also this feeling love for Krishna constantly, and sometimes feeling sad for someone in relation to Krishna or something. It happens on the higher levels of bhakti. Okay. Sattva sattve tu parasparam upamarditत्वाद् चेष्टान्तर्गते एव. Okay. So he talks about two things here, sattva and asattva. I have discussed this with some people and heard it from some people, so none of us are clear what sattva and asattva mean here. So sattva and asattva, because they constantly overpower each other, mutually overpower. Sometimes sattva becomes prominent and asattva becomes less. Asattva becomes prominent and sattva becomes less. They are included in cheshta, in action, in voluntary action, not the level of feelings. Okay, that is a different topic. And Vishwanatha Chakravarti also does not speak of this in his commentary. So let's leave that. Tadevam sati Krishna sambandhi Krishnartham va anushilanam iti. So now, on understanding this much, we understand that Krishna sambandhi or Krishnartham anushilanam. Anushilanam, constant application, constant practice, that is in relation with Krishna, Krishna sambandhi, or that is for the sake of Krishna, Krishnartham. Okay. This kind of anushilanam is talked about. So what kind of anushilanam we are talking about? That constant practice which is in relation with Krishna, or that constant practice which is for the sake of Krishna. Okay. Somebody has a question so far?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, one question.
Yes.
Here, sattva, asattva means mode of goodness, like that?
No, it does not mean like that.
Okay.
Okay, let's continue. So tat sambandha matrasya tadarthasya va vivakshitattvat gurupadashrayadau bhavarupasyapi krodikritatvat sthayini vyabhicharishu cha bhaveshu na avyapti etaccha कृष्ण तद्भक्त कृपयैव लभ्यं श्री भगवत स्वरूप शक्ति वृत्ति रूपम अतः अप्राकृतमपि कायादि वृत्ति तादात्म्येन आविर्भूतमिति चेयम् अग्रे तु स्पष्टीकरिष्यते. So because we through the word Krishnanushilanam we mean that constant practice which is in relation with Krishna, or that constant practice which is for the sake of Krishna, because that is the meaning of Krishnanushilanam. Therefore, all the practices of bhakti, such as the first anga, the beginning of bhakti is Guru Padashraya. We approach the Guru and take the shelter of his feet. That is the first stage. And then on the higher stages of bhakti or Bhava Bhakti, okay, that is also included. Bhava Bhakti is in relation with Krishna. Taking shelter of Guru's feet is also in relation with Krishna. That constant application in relation with Krishna. So, also, sthayini vyabhicharishu bhaveshu cha na avyapti. So this definition, Krishnanushilanam, includes the beginning levels of pure bhakti, taking shelter of Guru's feet, and it also includes the levels of Bhava Bhakti and the elements of Bhava Bhakti such as Sthai Bhava, Vyabhichari Bhava, which will come later on in the Grantha. So all of these are included within the scope of Krishnanushilanam, because they are all related with Krishna or for the sake of Krishna. So that's what we have understood. So all the beginning level of bhakti till the higher levels of bhakti, highest levels of bhakti, all are included, subsumed within this definition of Krishnanushilanam. Okay. Etacca Krishna tad bhakta kripaya eva labhyam. And this Krishnanushilanam, this constant practice in relation with Krishna or for the sake of Krishna, is attained by oneself only because of the kripa, mercy of Krishna or the mercy of Krishna's devotees. So if you have got the mercy of Krishna's devotees or Krishna himself, then only you can have such an inclination or such a ability to engage constantly in relation to Krishna. Okay. You can have Uttama Bhakti only by the blessing of Krishna or his devotees, not by anything else. Kripaya eva. Only by the blessing, the mercy of the devotee of Krishna or Krishna himself can you have this. You cannot attain this kind of bhakti, this highest bhakti, pure bhakti, by any other means, by giving lots of donations to someone, by feeding the poor, or going to various tirthas and doing so much things. No amount of tapasya, no amount of vratas, you may do many austerities and everything, you will never get such bhakti, which is uttama bhakti. It is only available, only possible to be attained by the mercy of Krishna's devotees or Krishna. Okay. Shri Bhagavata Swarupa Shakti Vritti Rupam. And this Krishnanushilanam, Krishna Bhakti, Uttama Bhakti, is of the nature of Bhagavan's Swarupa Shakti. So Bhagavan has various Shaktis, basically categorized into three: Swarupa Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, and Bahiranga Shakti or Maya Shakti. So Swarupa Shakti, Jiva Shakti, and Maya Shakti are three Shaktis. Swarupa Shakti is Bhagavan's own Shakti, which is constituted of consciousness. And this Krishna Bhakti, pure Bhakti, is the function, is the action of Krishna's Swarupa Shakti. Okay. And therefore it is aprakritam, it is non-material, it is not constituted of matter, it is not a part of our material world. It is Krishna's own Swarupa Shakti, his personal power, capacity. So, kayadi vritti tadatmyena eva avirbhutam iti jnayam. So this Swarupa Shakti of Krishna, it manifests in the being of the sadhaka as one with the actions of his body, his speech, and his mind. So when Bhagavan's Swarupa Shakti, which is Bhakti, manifests in us, it takes the form of the actions of our body, the actions of our speech, and the actions of our mind. Tadatmya, it becomes, you can say, the same. It takes the same form as the actions of our body, of our speech, and of our mind. So whatever Nama Japa we may do, whatever Kirtanam of Krishna we may do, whatever Seva of Krishna we may do, it is all because of Krishna's blessing on us. His Swarupa Shakti has entered our heart, and it has manifested in the form of the actions of serving him, in the form of the action of chanting his names, in the form of the action of bowing down to him, and so forth. Okay. It is not the material actions, it is not the material body that is acting in that way. The Bhakti Shakti of Krishna has manifested in the form of the actions of our body. That is the point he is making, and this Agretu Spashti Karishati, this will be clarified, elaborated on later on in the first division, third wave, first verse. So the third chapter of this first part, the first verse of that chapter will explain all these things which we just discussed. Any question someone has?
Yeah, Harish, I don't have a question, but I'm trying to confirm my understanding. So
Ah.
when you mentioned this, whenever someone chants the holy name, or when you do one round of japa, or maybe 16 rounds of japa, so even for the beginner stage also, we can understand that is it his only by his Swarupa Shakti they're able to come to temple, offer some service as a neophyte devotee. Is that correct understanding?
That is the correct understanding, but the thing is that the newcomer to devotion, he cannot understand this point because he is so much identified with his body. He will not be able to understand this point. It is only understood by those who are purified by bhakti, whose minds are purified.
I see. But the main driving force for them, although they are ignorant of the science, is mainly by the blessings of the Lord.
Yes, that is right. Okay. Then he says, Krishna Shabdascha atra swayam bhagavata Shri Krishnasya tadrupanam cha annesham api graha. So the word Krishna in the word Krishnanushilanam, Krishna comes, this word. So this word Krishna refers to Swayam Bhagavan Shri Krishna also, and also to his other forms such as Bhagavan Shri Narayana, Shri Rama, Shri Narasimha, Shri Varaha, all his Vishnu avatars. All of them are also understood by this word Krishna. So constant application in relation with Krishna means in relation to Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, the independent form of Bhagavan, and also in relation to Bhagavan in any of his form as Rama or Narasimha or any other. Okay. Taratamyancha agre vivechaniyam. The gradations between the forms of Bhagavan will be analyzed later on. In the second part, second division, first chapter, shlokas 220 to 224, we'll discuss that. The gradations of the forms of Krishna. Okay. So I think we can end our class here for today. Any questions someone has? All right.
Thank you,
So
Pastor.
I would want, because it is a very important shloka, I would want someone to recap all the points we discussed today. Will someone want to discuss or speak all the points?
Yeah, I can go over the recording
Yes,
and
Sakala Subhagavad.
yes, bro. The recording will be available, right? I will go through
Yes.
it. Okay, sure. So yeah, I will post it on the group. Maybe, but it will take
No,
me a
no,
couple
no.
of days.
I was meaning that right now in the class
Oh,
itself you can say.
oh, right now. Okay, got it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so I wrote some points, bro, so far. I can
Okay.
share whatever I've written.
Yeah.
So Bhakti actually Bhakti Rasa curtails the speech of both Mimamsa, and it also helps us to eventually forget the time factor, because we will be delving deep into Bhakti. And the devotees, when they try to delve deep into Bhakti, they can also for forget the factor of time. And we also currently and is also described, we will be describing Samanya Bhakti in the first wave and Sadhana in the second chapter. Third is Bhava Bhakti, and fourth, we are in the fourth chapter, we are dealing Prem Bhakti. And coming to the um, Bhakti should be done in a pure form. It should not be tainted with karma or gnana. When Bhakti should be done for the sake of Bhakti. And when we coming to the important words, Anya Bilashita Shunyam. So the important thing is we have to encourage the mind with our mind, body, and senses to do positive activities in a pleasing way towards Krishna. And we have to discourage our mind and completely stop to become negative towards Krishna and Krishna's devotees. um, and yeah, like when we try to develop when by doing constant practice, we can at one stage, I think the devotee will develop feelings towards Krishna, like love, separation, sorrow and despair, by when hearing Krishna Leela. And only by mercy of Krishna and Krishna's devotees, one can attain the Uttama Bhakti, and no forms of dharma, artha, kama, moksha or tapa can give that highest fruit. And yeah, and the Swarup Siddha Swarup Shakti of the Lord is manifested by the Lord's grace in the hearts of the devotee, by body, mind and speech. And yeah, these are some of the points, bro.
Very much. Thank you very much. Very good. Very nicely described and recapped all the points. So thank you. We'll meet on the next Wednesday, next week. Pranams everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks.